Well, hello and welcome, and wow, what a great day it is. Tonight at midnight, the Queensland Government and some New South Wales Government has announced the relaxation of some of the restrictions imposed upon us as a society. Personally, I was doubtful as to how soon that was going to happen, but I'm glad to see that it has finally arrived. However, with the easing of restriction comes responsibility, because that's what's happened. Government has now put responsibility on us to behave responsibly. So what I want to say today is that this is not a free-for-all. Let's not stuff it up. Right? At the end of the day, if we do this right and comply with the government requirements, then we'll all be able to have more freedom as time goes on. So what I'm asking is to just stick to the rules and don't stuff it up. Because if we stuff it up, then the government will just simply lock us down again, and none of us want that. So here's a few tips. If the beach is crowded, leave, go somewhere else, find another place to go. Same with the parks. If they're crowded, don't go there, find another place to park and have your picnic. If you're going to the shopping centre, for goodness sake, just keep your distance. Make sure that you're complying with what the shopkeepers and the shop workers are doing. Those poor people get abused every day and it's not their fault. So just be nice to the retail workers. They need support as well. This has been a very trying time for all of them. You'll notice that more and more shops will start to open up this weekend, and that is a great sign. But again, keep your social distancing, keep to the regulations. If visiting your family or friends in their houses, also remember the restrictions and regulations that go hand in hand with that. It is not time to have a party. It is not time to have that belated birthday party. It's not time to have that christening or whatever it is, that special function you've just been through and you've missed out on. This is not the time to do it. There are still strict limitations on who can be where at what times. So please be careful of that. We have a long way to go, so don't kid yourselves. We are still at the very early stages of this pandemic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some figures. So to date, as of today's date, there has been, and I've got to read this because I've got this written down here, 6,762 confirmed cases with 92 confirmed deaths. That's in Australia. Now, I'm going to just hit you with some numbers here. So I'm going to be conservative. So I'm going to say, okay, let's just increase that to 7,000 people. So to reach a level of what they call herd immunity, which I'm sure you've heard the phrase, we need to have between 29 to 74% of the community with the COVID-19 antibodies or have been vaccinated. But let's pick a midpoint figure and let's call it 60% of the population. Now, currently Australia's population is 25.2 million people. To reach the herd immunity threshold, we need to have 15,120,000 people with antibodies to the COVID-19 virus. That's 60% of the current population. Now, again, to be really conservative, I'm going to assume that 5 times the official amount have actually been exposed to the COVID virus and are carrying antibodies. So that's 35,000 Australians who are carrying the antibody. Now again, I'm being very conservative and I admit that. Now, remember, there is no vaccination right now. Now, hopefully it won't be too far away, but I think we need to brace ourselves for the fact that it could be 12 months away. So we could hope for it to be sooner, but let's be realistic and say, okay, we've got another 12 months until the vaccinations are available. So based on that current figure of 35,000 people, that represents 1/4% of the number we need to get to the herd immunity threshold. So we have a long way to go. That is why it is so imperative that we keep our social distancing to stop the spread. So that in numbers is an additional 15,085,000 people that need to be infected or carry the antibodies for our society to reach that herd immunity threshold. Now, Australia's recovery rate is incredibly high. We have a 98.65% recovery rate. So if we maintain that recovery rate and we let the virus spread, now that recovery rate would not be able to be maintained if we just let the virus spread without social distancing. But if we just let the virus take its natural course and we stayed at that fatality rate, it would mean that there would be 340,200 deaths as a result of the COVID-19 just in Australia alone. Now, the chances of that happening and maintaining that threshold would be very low because simply the hospitals would be overwhelmed. To put that in perspective, that figure of 340,200 deaths represents 284 years of road fatalities in this country. Now, that's assuming about 1,200 road fatalities a year across the nation. So that's 284 years worth of fatalities in 1 to 2 years' time. Now, don't forget that this disease is transmitted by social contact. It's not in the water supply, it's not spread by mosquitoes or fleas, it is spread by social contact. So we need to stay our distances. And for goodness sake, please do the right thing and download the COVID Safe app that the government has supplied us. Now, I have a message for the conspiracy theorists and the privacy advocates, but I'll do that at the end of the video, so you can go to the time if you want to skip the rest of this. Now, this COVID safety app that the government has put out is an essential tool to help maintain and monitor any outbreaks of the COVID-19 that we may get. Please do not listen to the privacy advocates or the conspiracy theorists. They are just simply not doing us any favour. So just download the app for the sake of us all. Isn't 340,000 potential deaths good enough reason to download the app? So this is a really good step in the right direction. It is now up to us. It's our responsibility to make sure that we all do the right thing and abide by the rules, and hopefully slowly life will come back to normal. Thank you. Okay, message to the conspiracy theorists and privacy advocates. Nobody likes giving up their freedom or privacy. I get that. Many people who have lived through the 20th century have a very good reason not to trust governments. Again, quite understandable. But we live in a stable democracy. We are not ruled by socialist or communist governments here. We are a free society. For many of you, this is a game. It's something you do to stir up your friends and family for a bit of fun. Please stop. I know that there are people not downloading the COVID safety app because of what they've heard about the privacy concerns and the conspiracy theorists. We are not doing ourselves any favours. Yes, all of what I've said is my opinion, but at least it's an opinion based on research and just replicating the facts of what's going on. I'm not conspiring, I'm not trying to delude people, I'm simply trying to inform them and to encourage them to do the right thing. You are entitled to your opinions, and to be honest, some of your opinions are probably quite reasonable, but that is not the issue here. If you, as a conspiracy theorist or private advocacy person, convinces just one person not to download the app, and as a result of that, one person dies unnecessarily that could have been prevented by being notified through the use of the app, are you prepared to live with that on your conscience? That is the question here. Yes, there may well be privacy issues, but I don't think there are. I don't think there's any conspiracy here by the government. But conversely, even if there was, is that worth risking one person's life? So please be responsible. If you don't want to download the app, that's fine, don't. But keep your opinion to yourself and don't tell other people not to download the app. It is an essential tool for us to go forward, and it is something that we are desperately going to need to keep track of outbreaks in the future. And I hope, to goodness sake, you understand that I'm not ridiculing you, I'm just asking you for a bit of sensibility. Thank you.